Hi, my name's Keltie, and I'm not exactly what you would call calm. Did you probably show me? Now, big premise of my channel has always been joy and laughter and fun and overcoming things. Touch base on it and you guys have seen it. There's been this, what I can describe as a ball in the gut of my stomach. Really hard for me. But I know I need to, because at this rate, I've been that scared and that everything's just this hurdle. Which in essence makes you a female, so it's... Every few weeks I had this in the bottom of my gut, crept into my shoulders and my mind, and I was just constantly like this. The thing is, when you're tense like this, you can keep pushing, you can keep pushing, and you can keep pushing until you pull something. And I was just in this constant state of this ball until I break. Kind of build myself up again, but just build myself into this ball, this tight wound ball, and then break again. Now, how I got through this year, even with that ball, was these supportive people I have in my life. I feel so blessed that I was able to travel to Russia, Vancouver, Edmonton, and be with my loved ones. And that truly saved me. Traveling, new experiences, being around those. It is the most important therapeutic thing you can possibly do. But the reality is, you can't just run away from your problems. It doesn't solve everything. You got too much tequila. Yes, laughing, food, company can be the soul that fuels you. But the reality is, my day-to-day wasn't maintainable and just constantly resulted in burnout. If I kept going on this cycle of like burning myself out and escaping just to return to burnout, I don't know what would happen. It was November. I was deciding my challenge for December and the one that's gonna bring me into 2020. And of course you guys all picked yoga, and I hate the idea of yoga. Sorry, put me in a room, some lame music, and I just kind of have to like flow. Wow, I've just never got the bug. It seemed really stupid. It seems boring. I might as well just go meditate and stretch a bit at home. I'm not paying money for that. Because I'm a basic IG loving millennial, this new gym called Sweat Tonic to open up. It's so aesthetic. First, I went and tried their HIIT class, spin class. I was feeling it. And yes, they had a yoga class, and I still was like,
yeah, no, don't put me down for cardio.
That sounds awful. But I know something on the schedule, and I have always said, I will do yoga the day someone plays Kanye West in a yoga class. And they had a hip hop yoga class. Okay, someone read my mind. I'm gonna give this a go. It's 7 a.m. For first week, I don't think I'm gonna switch up too much of my workouts or anything. I'm just gonna try adding in yoga. So I'm going to a boxing class at Bolo, and then I'm going to my first ever yoga class. Boxing, done. On to the next one. So began my first yoga class. For someone who thrives off things like boxing, basketball, this whole sitting still thing, yeah, it didn't really resonate with me at the start. I felt this was completely useless. I felt very out of place. I didn't know how to properly move. I didn't know what the instructor was saying. I was embarrassed. Hey, I have a fitness channel, and I probably look like the biggest beginner in this entire class. I left that first class with just a feeling. Middle of November, I didn't post about this. I think I had a really bad case of burnout once again. And that's the you're gonna be like, wow, another YouTuber that burnt out. Instantly a ball that would shatter and be built back into a ball, and shatter and be built back into a ball. And that was 2019, and I just was burnt out, and I needed something. 30 days, which actually ended up turning into 50 days of yoga, and it saved my life. I had no idea what I was doing. I felt so humiliated during it and humbled. The instructor was so encouraging that it wasn't like I was a failure. There's this sense of play, this sense of discovering my body. that ball just kind of melted a little. It was a little bit more of a water balloon, a little less of a tight-knit ball. And it just felt like a weight off my shoulders. When normally I only ever got that feeling when I went away on vacation. I love making YouTube videos, I love working out, I love everything about my job, but at the same time it's also not maintainable, so I just needed something in my day that didn't involve escaping something I love. And yoga became that. So one thing I've also wanted to do in this yoga challenge is not stress myself about always having to be at a class or work at a specific time. Today I woke up, I slept in a little bit, I'm just enjoying a coffee, I just had a nice breakfast, and I'm just gonna do a few yoga moves here just on the ground. I come from an athletic background. I've always viewed my body from an athletic standpoint, which is good. And not that I never wanted to look pretty or anything, but I've never moved in a sense of grace. I was never a dancer. My body was always point A to B, stiff, powerful, strong. Your idea of what feminine, masculine energy is totally up to you. And my womanhood and moving and feeling powerful in a graceful, sensual movement. My body moving like water, as a lot of instructors say, and it felt so beautiful and something I've never tapped into. And not that either right or wrong, but it's just a new area of myself I started to discover. It just felt good to view my body in that way. A big concept is taking up space, and that used to just brush right by my head. Especially as females, we're told to take up as little space as possible, that we should have quieter voices, we shouldn't be loud. And I loved in yoga, it was the first time that it was take up as much space as possible, and an empowerment of that, but not in a boastful way, in a graceful way. I began to see physical changes in my body of just being able to move easier in and outside of yoga. If you want to know the physical changes, I felt leaner, but I didn't lose any weight, anything like that. I just felt there was less stress. I felt less bloated, and which was a beautiful, just not changing my diet, not gaining or losing weight, not adding muscle, taking away. I just felt like I can move. I felt a flow, and I just felt beautiful, even though nothing changed. It was just such an appreciation for my body. It was beginning to move like nature. It was moving with a feminine power, a sensuality, a grace, but yet feeling so powerful and passionate when I did. The last day of my yoga challenge, the last session with the sweat flow at Sweat Tonic, and it's something I don't want to stop. traveled to Russia, to Edmonton, I made sure to do 10 to 20 minutes a day. I never missed a day. Every day, do something every day that just brings you into yourself. But taking up a space, a light, a beauty, of moving in a feminine or masculine way, whatever draws you, but making sure you have a bit of both. And I think what percent you have of both comes to you. There's the powerful side of me, but there's the sensual, feminine side of me, and that's something I really want to work on, and yoga taught me that. But there was such a sense of play that was fun, and every day I was learning something new about my body, like we do as kids, that we don't do as adults. No expecting to do something, no goal. The only goal to fall more and more in love with myself every single time I got on that mat. Is yeah, I move like an athlete, but I also move with a feminine, sensual energy. Not for anyone else, but just for my own self. Anytime I find I step back into negative habits I do, one, for example, picking at my face, I say, am I treating myself with love? Before I pick up food, I don't say, is this right, is this wrong? I say, is this treating my body with love? And sometimes that's the cake, and sometimes that's the carrot, or carrot cake. Yoga was one of the first times I really treated my body with love. And that every time I got onto that mat, to move my body, to improve it, to move it, but not ask anything more than what I wanted in that movement, and to fall more in love with my body, and to play. And most importantly, it taught me a love I've never known for myself. Yeah. Just fall in love with yourself and the world and your life every single day a bit more, and that's all we can ask. The best way to fall in love with yourself, go pet a dog.